Howdy gamers, let's talk about the runes for Kog'Maw ADC. They're pretty basic as you would expect for a champion that just wants to be this like 1v9 like hyper carry. One of the few hyper carries like actually left in the game. So starting off with the keystone, it's going to be lethal tempo. Um, Unlike other AD carries, Kog'Maw really does benefit from the extra attack speed gained from lethal tempo compared to the utility you can get through either fleet of footwork or the extra damage you could get earlier with press the attack. With press the attack, when you hit an enemy champion 3 times, you deal bonus adaptive damage, and then you also expose them, dealing or increasing all the damage they take afterwards. With Kog'Maw, you're looking to kill every single champion on the enemy team, not just one. With most AD carries, they're looking just to kill one, and then any other champion is kind of extra. So with Lethal Tempo, it helps you do that. With Lethal Tempo, 1.5 seconds after damaging an enemy champion, you gain 40 to 110% based on your level attack speed for 3 seconds, and then attacking an enemy champion extends that effect for 6 seconds. And then the cooldown is only 6 seconds. So if you manage it properly, and then when used in combination with Kog'Maw's Q, E, and W, you really just set yourself up to just right-click the enemy and kind of let go of your mouse and keyboard and deal shit tons of damage. Kog'Maw can deal some of the highest damage in the game, and in combination with Lethal Tempo and an Enchanter support, then you're really rocking and rolling. So for the secondary runes, you have good options in Overheal or Triumph. Um, if you have an Enchanter support, then Overheal goes a lot further. Champions like Soraka, Janna, where they have heals and shields for you. You can build up the Overheal shield. With Overheal, excess healing on you becomes a shield for up to 10% of your max health. So this in combination with Bork and Doran's Blade and Lifesteal and Enchanter supports that can also give you heals and shields, then it gains a lot of value. The shield is built up from 20 to 100% of excess healing from yourself or an ally. So with this, it can become a laning tool where even though you're building up like a really small shield, like 10 to like 60 HP, you can still, it's still used as like effective HP, and then with it, you're going to be taking more positive trades with the enemy when you're just taking like one auto trades with a W or anything past that. So it can be a trading tool early, and then later into the game where it becomes a bigger shield, then it again basically just functions as like effective HP, making it harder for the enemy to actually kill you. You could also run Triumph, which in my opinion with this champion is kind of like the greeter option, um, where takedowns restore 12% of your missing health and grant you additional 20 gold. Even though you do want to be killing every single champion on the enemy team as Kog'Maw, you want to be doing so like at a really fast pace. So like yes, you could kill one and then restore some HP, and then that'd be okay. But it's really up to like your team to keep you alive. And then I suppose if you don't have an Enchanter support, Triumph is a better option though. And then with Presence of Mind, it's like the greediest option you got. I suppose if you have a Mage support, then you should be looking to burn Presence of Mind, as a lot of what you're doing is trying to combo with their poke. So with Presence of Mind, takedowns restore 20% of your maximum mana, and then permanently increase it by 100. So I guess that's an easy way to categorize these. Enchanter support, you run Overheal. Tank support, you run Triumph, and then Mage support, you run Presence of Mind, depending if you're playing with those supports. If you're playing against them, it doesn't really matter which one would change. If you're looking for a default too, I would probably go with Overheal. For the third rune, you have your best option is Alacrity. Again, unlike other ADCs, you don't get as good a value out of Bloodline as other champions that are building crit, and yeah, that's basically it. So you get more value out of the Alacrity as it's going to be giving you bonus attack speed for free. And that's really that, as Kog'Maw just makes so much better use out of the attack speed, and he deals more damage with the attack speed than the other ADCs would because of his W. And then for the fourth rune, it's basically always going to be Coup de Grace. With Coup de Grace, you deal 8% more damage to champions who are below 40% health. And you could run Cutdown, but with Kog'Maw already deals so much damage to tanks with his W and with his Q that it's really not necessary to have percentage damage increase to champions with more maximum health than you, since Kog'Maw is going to he's going to kill those champions anyways. And you chunk them really hard, even if you're not killing them with your W with your initial attacks, and then you could finish them off with the 8% damage increase when they're below 40% health. And then last stand is just kind of irrelevant. For the secondary runes, your most common path is probably going to be Nimbus Cloak with Gathering Storm. Pretty standard for most AD carries, as Nimbus Cloak gives you so much utility, especially for a hyper carry. Nimbus Cloak, after you cast a summer spell, you gain bonus movement speed that lasts for 2.5 seconds and allows you to pass through units. So with this, it makes your heal just make you go a lot faster, which is so useful, man. And then with Gathering Storm, you're just getting attack damage every 10 minutes. Most games you're going to be sitting on the 14 AD at 20 minutes, and that's completely fine. And then 30 to 40, you just get way more value. But with Nimbus Cloak, it's a real reason to run Sorcery second, as the utility you get from the extra movement speed when casting Heal or Flash is so crazy. Because not only are you like repositioning, but once you're in just that slightly better position from the extra movement speed gain, it really does go a long way. Because you could just damage more and then also survive more. It's so valuable. And then for the shards, it's always going to be attack speed, attack damage, then armor. As I don't think I have to explain those. And then you do have some variation in the secondary runes that you could run. You could have more healing with Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. As with Taste of Blood, you're going to be healing anytime you damage the enemy champion. So for Kog'Maw's trades in lane, this does help him, and he does have good trades in lane. As Taste of Blood's only on a 20-second cooldown. With Ravenous Hunter, you heal for a percentage of damage dealt by your abilities, which is going to be also on your W. So that's where Kog'Maw does get a lot of value from this compared to other ADCs. But you do miss out on a lot of the positional advantage from Nimbus Cloak. But if you have an Enchanter support on your team, this would be completely fine, as it would make your trades more brutal in the lane. And then if they protect you, then you don't really need Nimbus Cloak to protect yourself. But in solo queue, the utility of Nimbus Cloak goes a hell of a long way, man. You really have to try to outweigh it. And that's really it for the like standard variations for Kog'Maw runes. You could run something like this, which is pretty innovative coming into Season 10. Grasp the Undying. If you have an Enchanter support, you can run Shield Bash. If you don't, then you could just run Demolish. And then Conditioning, Revitalize. You could run Overgrowth as well, but if you're playing with an Enchanter, Revitalize is probably going to be giving you better value. And then for the secondary runes, you'd be back in Domination with Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. With this, you have really strong lanes, you have a lot of sustain, and then you are effectively tankier with Conditioning and Shield Bash. Kog'Maw is a strange champion where you can just get away with runes like this compared to runes that other AD carries have to run. You do miss out on some damage, but the tankiness that you get from it and the sustain that you get from it is really brutal for the enemy to have to deal with. And where Kog'Maw has so much damage already in his kit, staying alive can equate to more damage, but and it is just easier to pull off something like Lethal Tempo, where you gain so much attack speed that once it's there, then you're kind of just right-clicking and letting go of your mouse and keyboard and then dealing a lot of damage from it. So if you're at a higher MMR, I would suggest trying this out, as it's a pretty unfair setup, especially if you're playing into Aphelios. Like, Kog'Maw is one of the few champions that just hard beats Aphelios. And if you have a rune setup like this, like, good luck losing against him. Like, you deal so much damage, it's just not even close to fair, man. So that's really it for Kog'Maw runes. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I answer literally all of them. If this video helped you, leaving a like on the video helps me. And if you're interested in watching me talk or play League of Legends, you can check out my Twitch. It's twitch.tv/SawyerNelson. Kog'Maw, man, he's forgotten, but he's really strong. And he's really easy to play, too. Like, check him out. Jeez.